Let me try this again. Share screen. Can you guys still see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go through a kind of brief presentation, and then what I was hoping to do was really do, at least half of this hour doing Q&A, just kind of answering questions for people and stuff. So we'll take it from there, and then when we get to the questions, just, I don't know, we'll see how the technology works. Just put something in chat, or there's a ton of people talking at the same time. We'll try and figure out how to manage it. But so yeah, we'll just give you an overview of PMF and the vibe, and let's just go see what happens. Of course, that didn't work. So we'll go here. There we go. So what is PMF? It stands for pulse electromagnetic fields. Okay. Don't get too tied up in the technology and the terminology. What it is it's energy transfer. Okay. So you're transferring energy. It can actually be electrical current, like a TENS unit that you put pads, on your arm. It could be magnetic fields, which is PMF. It can be light. It can be sound. It can be vibration. And I've got protocol or prototypes, if you will, all in works for all different kinds of ways to deliver it. But I can't afford the divorce, so I have to make this device work first, because that's kind of where we're at. So we'll talk about what ailments it can help living well with. And that sounds like a really weird phrase or term, living well with. But the reason it's written that way is that is the FDA guidelines for general FDA general wellness devices. Okay, so I can't, and let me get this disclaimer out front. I am not a doctor. I'm a rocket scientist, so I cannot diagnose, treat, or cure anything. I don't even play a doctor on TV, right? So think about it that way. But the FDA general wellness guidelines allow you to make that statement, living well with X. So I can't treat, cure diabetes, but you can live well with it because you're now buying less insulin, you're injecting yourself less amount of times, and you feel better. Same with back pain, same with Alzheimer's, same with any of the ailments. You're not curing it, but you're living better with it because you can now function better, your life's better, blah, blah. Hopefully that makes sense to people. What is Vibe and RFT? RFT is resonance frequency therapy, and it's all about resonance. We'll talk about that, how it works, what the history, the background is, the research, some of the studies the company's doing, Resona Health is doing, and then some conclusions. Does that make sense to everybody? Do that? Okay. So what is PEMF? Again, it's pulse electromagnetic field. It's naturally occurring, so it's not any weird voodoo. It's naturally occurring. The Earth puts out PMF all the time. That's why your compass works. The Earth puts out what they're calling Schumann frequencies. It's 7.83, 14.1, and 20.3 hertz. So the Earth, if PMF was dangerous, everything on the world would be dead, right? It's just every living thing. So it's you're engulfed in it. It's at about 0.4 to 0.5 Gauss, which is the measurement energy level of the strength of the magnetic field. But the Earth is putting it out all the time. Where it comes from, which is kind of interesting, is lightning bolts echoing off the ionosphere, and the Earth acts like a bell. So it's a resonating bell is where those frequencies come from. So one way to think about it is nothing happens in nature or your body without an energy exchange. So think about it this way: if you're camping, you're making s'mores or hot dogs, you have to have an energy exchange. You got to take the heat from the fire to melt the chocolate and the marshmallow. Everything in your body is that way. It has to be some kind of energy exchange, maybe physical or chemical. Examples: if you fall down the stairs and you break your leg, that's an energy exchange, right? It went from gravity putting energy into your body to break your bone. So nothing really in the world happens without an energy exchange, and that's exactly what this is doing. It's an energy exchange. So it restores and replenishes damaged cells. What's really cool is it's non-invasive. You don't even know you're getting the therapy, right? You basically put it in your pocket or wear a lanyard around your neck. I get asked this every single day, multiple times a day. Why would I put this thing in my pocket? EMFs are really dangerous. Okay. The whole craze with EMFs being dangerous and your cell phones and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and everything going to kill you, right? Is those are gigahertz. That's billions of hertz, super high frequency. Everything on this device is 1 to 1,000 hertz. So it's a billion times less as far as the frequency energy. So PMF is therapeutic and helpful. EMF is not. Yes, they're similar in that they're both in the electromagnetic spectrum, like any kind of light, but they're way, way, way on. If you look at the chart, they're at the very beginning of the zero, almost 1 to 1,000 hertz. Okay. And it can have both physical and mental benefits, if that makes sense. So that's what PEMF is. What ailments can help living well with? I didn't update this chart because there's not enough room. So there was 41 original protocols. We went to 47, then 55, and now we're at 59, plus 70 expansion protocols I'll talk about in a little bit. So we've got like 130, 140 different protocols that can be delivered with the Vibe. So it's the world's only pocket PMF device. What inspired me to invent this is I saw the results that people were getting from the expensive machines in doctors' offices, but the machines are expensive. You have to go to the doctor's office, and it didn't make sense to me.
Oh,
Hey guys, go ahead and mute your mic, please, if you will. It might be Neil. So that's why I kind of invented it. I wanted therapy on the go. So it's the only device I know of that you can do that. You don't have to sit still. You're not sitting in a doctor's office. You're not laying on a mat. You're not doing audio therapy or where you're just sitting there doing nothing. So that's kind of why I invented it that way. There's no drugs. There's no side effects. Boson, if you're as old as me, there was a comedian named Rich Hall in the 70s that did sniglets. And sniglets were words that don't exist in the dictionary, but they should. And boson was one of them. Like bozos and ozone is like, it's an invisible field around people that stops new ideas from getting in. So keep an open mind about this. I mean, I have an avalanche of Facebook haters that attack me every day about this is voodoo bullshit, can't possibly work. I'm like, stop, time out, think for a minute. I mean, stem cells, DNA sequencing, anesthesia, MRIs, tons and tons of things were complete magic until they weren't. Okay, so just kind of think about it that way. So you place it in your shirt pocket, you ran around your neck with a lanyard. I gave up the fight with telling women not to put it in their bra because they keep dropping it in the toilet, but they do it anyway. So the most common thing women are doing is putting it in their bra. I keep saying, put in your back pocket, like our model here. And they're like, I don't want to put it in my pocket. Well, you do with your cell phone, so why not? Anyway, so it's about 2/3 the size of your phone. If you have a small phone, like an iPhone SE, it's half the size of the bigger ones that you guys have. And it weighs like 2.4 ounces. So I'm dubbing it resonance frequency therapy because it's resonating with the water in your body, and the different frequency pairs that we'll talk about are all targeted for very specific ailments, okay? And they're unique, specific protocols that aren't found anywhere else. Of course, there's a lot of good PEMF devices out there. I know several of the CEOs are all great devices. This one, I have a lot of copyright protocols that I wrote that are very unique. So anyway, that's what the device has. So how does it work? Here's the honest answer. Nobody knows how it works. Nobody knows how aspirin works or any drug either. They have theories about how it works, but they've never proven it, right? So what we do know is that the voltage on your cells, your cells in your body have a voltage, right? And specifically the mitochondria. Like a car battery, it has a voltage, and that voltage gets too low, you get sick. So we know it recharges the cells on the battery in your cells, right? The voltage, it recharges that. That's been shown. And it increases ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, fancy chemical word, but it's the main fuel that your bodies use for food, for energy. So that's what it's doing. In a nutshell, it's recharging your cells' batteries, and it's providing food for the cells so your body can heal itself. Does that make sense to you guys, hopefully? Okay, so to get the maximum effectiveness, you must be hydrated. The magnetic field itself from physics magnetic fields are going to drop off really fast with distance. So when you get too far away from it, it's not going to work with the magnetic field itself. But the reason we believe the resonance with water, and think about throwing a pebble in a pond, right? The energy is at where the pebble hit the water, but then that wave travels. And the reason we believe that is because you can put it in your pocket and it'll get rid of gout in your foot. The magnetic strength by itself cannot reach your foot. It can't. So I tell people to use it 3 to 4 times a week on average for 30 days. If it doesn't help you by then, it's not going to, or you have the wrong self-diagnosis. You're running the wrong protocol. Case in point, an example for me, I've never had sciatica in my life. A couple months ago, I was confident that I did because every symptom that I had was in my right butt, down my leg. It felt exactly like sciatica. I kept running the sciatica protocol and it didn't help at all. So I'm like, what's wrong? Then it dawned on me, I was on the beach walking and a family was out in the ocean. There was a soccer ball that was going to wash away. So I went to kick it back up to their towels and it rolled back down the beach. I kicked it again. It rolled back. I'm like, am I committed now or do I just give up? So then I kicked the ball as hard as I could and went flying up to their beach towels. And when I was walking home, my foot got a little numb. I'm like, okay. So that dawned on me. What I did is I strained the muscles and the tendons in my leg from being a 62-year-old dude kicking a soccer ball as hard as he could without stretching. Then I ran the right protocols for tendons and stuff like that, and it went away. So you can't really overdose with it. We've got people that, are using it 10 times a day, which I tell them not to. But if you use it too much, some people will get really tired. So I just tell them to cut back. But the 3 to 4 times a week came from the clinical environment where that's what you were doing if you're going to the doctor's office, 10, 12 to 16 times visits. If it hasn't done anything by then it's probably not going to. So the history background, magnetic therapy is not anything new. It's been around for 3,000 years or more. What is new in the last 100 years is pulsed, PEMF, has been way more therapeutic. This thing that happened, there was tons and tons and tons of research going on in the early 1900s, Tesla's time, looking at electrical stimulation for health. In 1934, a thing called the Flexion Report came out that made it illegal to do any of that. And you could only do surgery and drugs. You had to cut people or give them medication, or you lost your license, or you didn't get funding for your university. So America, the United States, is the only ones in the world that quit this research. So that's what happened. So a lot of the data and history got lost. Henry Van Gelder in the 40s, and then a lady in the 1990s found an old machine with a card on it that had certain frequencies, and she started playing with it. And that's basically where this has come from. And my goal was to try and make an affordable device that people could use that was therapy on the go, as I mentioned before. So there's over 35 published PMF articles out there. Go to PubMed, you can just put in PMF, you'll see 600 or more peer-reviewed studies. NASA's been using it since the 70s. The FDA has approved it for non-union fractures. And this is a weird thing, guys, is if you don't understand this space, when somebody asks me if it's FDA approved, the answer is it's an FDA general wellness device. I don't want it to be FDA approved because if you get your device FDA approved, you can only use it for that ailment. So if I got it FDA approved for Alzheimer's, I'm not allowed to use it for depression or anxiety. Okay, it's a weird thing, the way the law works. It's been shown cytokines in your blood for pain. It's been shown to reduce those. MIT discovered by accident that 40 hertz flickering light reverses Alzheimer's. I've talked to those guys multiple times. They're not doing it right. This is a dumb chemical engineer, rocket scientist telling an MIT guy that, but they're missing some of the protocols. But anyway, so we've done our own home clinical studies. The strongest one that we've had, the one we put the most emphasis on, was PTSD and trauma. We have a 95% success rate with that. There's the data right there. It's an ongoing study that we continually do. There's no adverse events reported. There's no dropouts. And there's some of the results you can go look at for that study. So quickly, the conclusion is it's a great alternative form of therapy. It's safe and extensively researched. There's no drugs or side effects. As I said, it recharges your cell's batteries. It's an affordable device. We have 59 protocols, and I'm going to show you some expansion protocols that we now have. And again, it just fits in your pocket, and there's the contact information if you want to get a hold of me. So before we go to Q&A, I want to see if okay, screen sharing stop. Let me see if I can do this. Go back to here. Da, da, da.
MD.
Okay, go ahead and mute your mic, please. Whoever's speaking, Lori. Anyway, can you guys see my website? Somebody?
Yes.
Did it come up?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So one thing I just want to show you a little bit on the website. This is our new AI person, Monique. She's new. She's learning. I'm training her every day. Ask her anything. See if you get the answer. She'll have most of the answers. There's a shop, of course, that you can. The protocols is what I wanted to show you. So these are the core 59 protocols that come on the device. I'm not going to go through all of them in Sperry, and there's a PDF right here you guys could download. But acne, ADHD, Monique, we don't need you right now. So you can see all of these brain balance. There's 5 brainwave, alpha, beta, delta, gamma, delta, theta, excuse me, that can be used for other things I'm going to show you in a minute. But just go here and familiarize yourself, excuse me, with the various protocols we have. So these are the 59. And then what I'm calling brainwave expansion protocols, these 5 brainwave waves are 1 to 30 hertz, and they can be repurposed for a bunch of other conditions. And these other conditions, there's like 70 more conditions here. The expansion protocols. So I won't go down again. There's another PDF here, but there's a video of me trying to explain it. But you can just go look at all these different ones that we have. For example, diabetes is between 12 and 22 hertz. So you'd run brainwave beta. Dizziness, it covers 2 different fields. So it'd be alpha and beta, just run them back to back, or one day, one the other. Got a lot of research online. I tried to summarize some of it. Sandbox is for our research guys. It's top secret, Area 51 stuff. And then references and published papers. You can go look at any of these. We have tons of FAQs, tons and tons and tons of video testimonials that are not easy to get from people because nobody likes being on camera, especially if you're over 30, I have learned. And then the blog, if you look at that, I have tons and tons of articles. This little search guy here, you can just search that and anything on the website. So go to Monique, go to FAQs, go here and search for it and see if you can find your answers. Yeah, so let's go here. That's basically my presentation. So I'm going to go to stop sharing if I can. Stop sharing. Hey, I did it in 20 minutes. Okay, so raise your hand, go to put something in chat if you want to ask a question. I think we'll try and do it that way and see if that works. Or just start talking as long as people aren't talking over top each other.
I have a question. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, thanks. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm with my partner Leah here. Now, Leah, I've read through the website and I understand certain apparatus such as pacemakers and insulin pumps you're not supposed to use it with. And she's a type 1 diabetic, uses an insulin pump, but the insulin pump can be taken off, say, during swimming or during a shower. What is that? Does that, can she use it with the pump off when she takes it off, say, for a shower or something like that?
Yes. So thank you for that. So the contraindications there, and it's just erring on the side of safety, right? Is that because an insulin pump or a pacemaker has electronics in it, it potentially could interfere with it. So everyone in the PMF community says, don't do it. Now that I said that to you, MRIs, right? So this puts out, the Vibe puts out 9 Gauss maximum. An MRI is 20 to 50,000 Gauss. Many, many, many times. So it used to be that you could not get an MRI if you had a pacemaker. That changed several years ago because doctors started to go, well, you're going to die probably if we don't see what's going on inside of you. So we need to run an MRI. So they would have a technician stand there to get ready to shut it down in case the pacemaker failed, right? And be able to, to my knowledge, it's never, ever, ever happened. Nobody has, only one person has ever died in an MRI that I know of, and it had nothing to do with the pacemaker. It was a small oxygen tank flew across the room and hit her in the head from the magnetic field. So it's just on the side of safety because we don't know. Same as pregnancy. Is there's no known cases of it ever harming, doing anything wrong, but the whole community just says, yeah, if you're pregnant, don't use it just because err on the side of safety. So, and one more comment, stents, metal implants, your hip replacement, knee replacement, it's fine with all of that. It's only the part that has electronics, computer stuff in it, like an insulin pump or pacemaker, that we err on the side of safety. So yes, she could just turn it off. That should work fine.
Okay, so take it off, take it off, clip it off the way she would if she was going in water, such as a pool or a shower. And then she usually leaves it off for 20 minutes, a half an hour anyway, when she's in the pool, even an hour. So if that's the case, she can do that and just be, now what's the distance? Like, in other words, if she puts the pump 5 feet away from her or in the next room, what would be the distance that she would have to worry about as far as just for safety reasons, like you said?
Well, as long as the pump's turned off, it could be right next to it. It's not going to do anything unless it's running.
Okay.
It's only going to screw up the electronics. The magnetic wave is going to drop off what's called the square of the distance. So it's going to drop off really fast. Now, my competitors will tell you, because people ask me all the time, how far does it reach as far as therapy?
Mhm.
They claim it's 10 meters because it's entangling with the 9th dimension. That's actually in their brochure. I don't.
Is
Hello?
Excuse me. Anyway.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't. I don't buy that at all. The closer you can get to the body, the better it's going to work. But yeah, to answer your questions, if it's turned off, it's not going to hurt anything. It should not.
Okay, now she doesn't really turn it off. I don't know if her pump has a turn off, but she does have a pause. So if she pauses it and puts it in, let's say, a dining room, and we go into the living room, that should be fine.
That's absolutely yes.
Okay. Second question is, again, reading through it, I did get some information, but I wanted to ask you. We have a friend who was just diagnosed with lymphoma. What can she use this? What would it help? Or is there something else that the website was talking about?
So under the brainwave expansion protocols I just showed you, the extra 70, there is a condition called lymphatic issues, I think, or conditions, and just have her try that and see if it helps.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mark, it's Bob from Toronto, Canada.
Hey, Bob.
How's it going?
What is it, a 40 below up there or what?
It is snowing, but I'm looking at a snowplow out my window, so we're doing well.
Okay.
I have a quick question about the historical nature of your protocols. So, are your therapies being developed from the original Van Gelder, or are they a combination of your science and the old historical protocols?
Van Gelder, good question. Van Gelder led into, we believe, the original 1990 machine that the lady discovered. So it literally started off with, again, nobody knows where the frequencies came from specifically because it was a machine with a card on it. I'll show you the card. Well, yeah. I'm getting a new computer, so I just moved it. Okay. So it's a card just said 40 hertz inflammation, 272 hertz vitality, right? So think about it this way, as the frequencies are ingredients and the protocols are recipes. The other way to look at it, because it's unique in that so there's not just frequencies running, they're frequency pairs. So think about it as a chord on a guitar, a two note chord.
Yeah.
And the protocols are going to go through like 1 to 4 minutes, and they're going to change chords. And some of them are complex, some are simple, but like PTSD is 76 different chords that go through that song, which is the protocol. What I'm using for the majority of them, some of them I've made up myself, but the majority came from 1990 to now with 8,000 practitioners and 35 years of playing with the recipes. Take a little oregano, put it in, take out this frequency, and seeing what works. And so again, I'm not a doctor. They're trying, the doctors and stuff that are specialists in this, they're trying to be, not trying to be, they're Sherlock Holmes, and yeah, thinking of one other person, but it's like they're trying to figure out the hardest, and like House. Okay, Sherlock Holmes and House. They're trying to find the most complex cases and figure out how to fix them because nothing else has helped them. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to go the 80-20 rule, which is what are the most common ailments that people have? I'm using the protocols that have been proven in the clinical environment. For example, PTSD, anxiety, depression, asthma, back pain, and blood sugar, diabetes, those type of ones. Again, so I'm not doing a lot of experimentation, very little. I'm just using the protocols that have been shown to work and put them in a device that was affordable, if that answers your question.
Yes. I noticed that is there a microcurrent associated with the PEMF as well?
So the microcurrent was the original. So it was basically like a TENS unit, right? You're putting pads in yourself. It was microcurrent is where these came from. The PEMF version actually developed out of necessity for burn patients because they couldn't put the electrodes on them. So it's, again, back to what I said about energy. It doesn't matter if it's electrical current, PEMF, magnetic field, or vibrations or whatever. But ask me your question again. I'm not sure I answered that.
No, I'm just saying that I noticed that there's a component of frequency, and there's a component of current. Right, frequency is like 6 hertz, or like the beta, gamma, theta are frequencies, but there seems to be a change in the protocol over a time, and so you see the different waves going up and down. So something is changing in your therapy. It's not just 6 or 12 hertz throughout the whole frequency. It seems like there's a component of a change in something that's going on, because you said there's like 70 different in the one protocol for PTSD, for example. It's like 2 hours long. It's not just one frequency going for 2 hours. You said there's a different component to it.
Right. So I was going to try and pull that up, see if I can. So yes. So like I said, it's going to be frequency pairs that are going to change probably every 1 to 4 minutes. And like I said, and you just said, PTSD is going to be like 76 different frequency pairs that's changing. And this is oversimplifying it, but frequency A is where is it? B is what's wrong with it.
I see.
And PTSD is in your entire body. It's in every part of your brain, organs, skin. So it's very complex of what it has to go through. But yeah, I mean,
that's it. I think that's it. Now, one final thing is that when you designate something as PTSD or anxiety, or in my case, I get white coat syndrome when I go to the hospital or the doctor, right? They have lots of latitude and where they can be used for. And I think your blog or your clients or your customers are going to start to tell you that they've used combinations for various things. And is that how it's developing for you, or are you calling it a more clinical approach, or you're letting your customers say, "Hey, I use PTSD for anxiety, for example, and had a really good success"?
you got muffled a little bit on that, Bob. But
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that your protocols seem to have a broad spectrum of appeal to different conditions.
yes.
And is it is the result of that from your clients, or is the result of that from practitioners? In other words, are you expanding your protocols because of your clients, or you're expanding them because of your general knowledge from practitioners?
No, it's both, but the primary thing is I built them out of what I said earlier, is the core protocols that had the best efficacy, that were working the best. Those are the original 44, then now 59. Those are the core protocols that are on there. I'm getting, hopefully I'm answering your question, but I'm getting feedback from customers of pure magic that's happening that was never designed for. So I've got 70-year-old women telling me general inflammation got rid of their varicose veins.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so let's tell everyone that and see if it helps them. But if this doesn't raise the hair on your arms, you're not human, because this is my favorite story to tell. A 17-year-old girl told me, Mark, I'll never have a date in my life because I'm a monster. I have Tourette's. I get picked on every day at school. No boy's ever going to ask me out. She goes, I ran brain balancing. My Tourette's disappeared and I have a date on Saturday night. That was 2 years ago and she's engaged to the guy now. I did not tell her to do that. I didn't tell her to, right? So I've had people come back to me and go, hey, Resolve 417 Hertz really helps with addiction. Really? Okay. Yeah, I don't have any cravings for that anymore. I'm like, what were you addicted to? And he goes, cocaine and strip clubs. Okay, which one costs more? Anyway, we both just kind of laughed about that for a second. Like, but yeah, he has no cravings for it anymore. So I didn't make that connection. He just looked at it himself and went, maybe this would help. And it did. That was probably 4 months ago. And he's off drugs, right? So there's a whole study that we may get funded, a big one, for just addiction and running perfect. 417 Hertz and running gamma and a few other things. But
that's perfect. Yeah, that's it. That's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. All right, who else? Don't leave me hanging.
I'd like to ask another question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. One thing is, we have we control a massage therapy wellness center, and I was wondering, do you have any other therapy centers or massage establishments that use these machines with their clients, like while working on them for back pain or such?
Yeah, we have a lot of them.
Hey, Reba. You there? Hey, we got disconnected.
Sam, can you mute your mic, please? The answer is yes. We have lots of spas and stuff.
Can we talk later? Because I'm having such a hard time hearing you. Are you home or on your way home?
I don't know how to find Sam. Okay, let me see if I can mute her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did. So yeah, we have lots and lots of spas. We're getting more of them. It's pretty exciting. And they're getting creative on how they're doing it and using it, right? As they're selling them as wholesalers, they're like acupuncturists or spas where they're letting them use it while they're doing something else. They're renting them for $10 during a yoga session to just put it in their pocket, put it next to them or on the lap while they're doing it. So there's a bunch of different models like that, but yeah, that's happening. And it's interesting because, the typical standard medical world AMA guys, I mean, most people are not going to venture out and do anything. And they learn about it from the patients coming in. Blood sugar and diabetes is like one of the biggest ones. They'll come in and go, hey, the doctor will go, finally, you started listening to me about your diet and your exercise because your A1C is way down, your blood sugar is bad. Nope, I didn't do any of that crap, doc. I use this thing. And then they get, snatch it and they go, what is this? And then they call me. And they go, what is this magical thing? So so there's all kinds of models and stuff that are starting to happen, which is really cool. And that's the funnest part of this. I'll call it a job. Don't you have to make money to be a job? I'm not making any money yet, right? But it's like, yeah, it's fun because you see in some of the interesting ways people are using it and the way things are changing is pretty cool.
Okay, great. And when you're saying diabetes, is that good for both type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
Very good question. the correct answer is probably type 2. It's the main one, but then I've had multiple discussions with one of the top diabetes doctors, and he's like, there ain't a type 1, type 2. He goes, there's a spectrum, a huge spectrum between the two, and it could help with all of it. But the short answer is type 2 is what it was designed for, but it could help 1 as well. But we don't have any. The main thing I've got is type 2 diabetics are pricking their fingers and doing A1C and saying, wow. And it's weird because it's not angry, but it's almost angry when they call me because they're just super frustrated. Like, why did my blood sugar go from 220 to 100? It can't be possible in 30 minutes. How did it do that? I'm like, it's magic, right? It's a weird phenomena. So it's, and again, I don't know exactly how it's doing it, but it is.
Okay.
And not for everyone. And of course, nothing's 100%, right? Is when people ask about double-blind studies before, it's like, even if there was 1 million of them on that specific thing, doesn't mean it's going to work for you because it's not 100%. So that's why we have a money-back guarantee on anything. It's just so you guys all know. Again, I get death threats, all kinds of stuff from Facebook haters. Is like, I don't want a single person in the world to have one of these devices that they paid for. If it didn't help you, send it back. I will give you your money back. I don't need any more bad karma in the world of the Facebook haters, right? I'm not a scam. Everyone that calls me a scam artist, I go, can you explain to me how that business model works? Because I'm giving people their money back if it didn't work for them. How am I making money and scamming them? Nobody's ever been able to answer that. So yeah, it's weird.
Gotcha.
I didn't mean to go dark there, but anyway.
And so if we're offering it in a session with a massage, and we have it on a certain protocol, and we have it next to them while we're doing the massage, does that also affect the massage therapist, or does that, how does that work?
Again, it could if you believe in it's going to reach 10 feet, but I don't have any data to show that's true. What a lot of people are doing is you give them a back massage, you just put it on the back of their neck, right?
Right.
It might be able to reach and help you, but give me your feedback on that, Mike, and let me know if it does. But,
Okay.
and I get asked it all the time, can I just stick it at our feet in bed and both couples get the therapy? Again, I'm a rocket scientist. I don't see the physics on how that works, but my competitors say it does. So I don't.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Welcome.
I have some questions in regards to Tourette's, but so my daughter has Tourette's, and I don't want to medicate her for it, and I've been using supplements with a little success. Would definitely like to see more. A little bit of a problem that we have is that I do have a pacemaker. So if I get this for her, is it best that she's just in her own room and I'm on a different floor, or?
The honest answer is, I don't know, but if you took this device right here, right, from that far away, you're not going to read any magnetic field.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have to be in the other room. You just don't wrap yourselves together in a big hug and hold it there, right? And again, what I said earlier, I'm sorry, what's your first name?
Mandy.
Mandy. So what I said earlier is there's not a single case of it ever shutting down a pacemaker.
Well, I have had an MRI with my pacemaker.
There you go. Okay, so MRI is 50,000 Gauss. This is 9.
Okay.
So it's that order of magnitude different from if you've had an MRI with a pacemaker, you could put this inside of you and it's not going to hurt you.
Okay, because I am tempted to use it for myself because I have a multitude of issues myself. But I feel I would be able to tell very quickly if it was having an effect negatively.
Yes.
On my pacemaker. Yeah.
And okay, right. And any of that stuff, if you feel a negative effect, stop.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that, and here's a struggle I have in this is people, a small percentage of people will tell me, hey, this did this thing to me, made me feel I felt worse. It's like anxiety, PTSD, a lot of things I believe it's emotional detoxing
Mm.
because the people that stick it out and do 2 or 3 sessions, they get way better, almost 100% of the time. Can't say 100%, but it's close. But I can't tell people, man, if it hurt you, keep using it. So I
Right.
feel weird about like, all right, well, stop if you want to. I can't, I mean, I feel horrible. It's like, yeah, I had a person yesterday tell me I'm getting cramps in every part of my body when I run PTSD, but no other protocol. It's only the PTSD that's causing me cramps. I've never heard of that before. And I'm like, turn the power level down from 10 to 7 and see if they go away. Obviously, it's not exact science. So I'm like, and again, I'm not a doctor. So it's like, try that. But yeah, I feel horrible if it's hurting you. I don't, just so you know, my number one goal in this whole business was number one, don't hurt anybody. And I've spent forever on the energy levels and comparing it to other devices and all that. And number two, I don't want to sell voodoo, right? So I would love to say I have 100% success with asthma because I do, but I don't have enough statistical analysis and P factors to fight off the Facebook haters and say that is a true statement, even though I know it's true so far, right? So I'm really careful about that, or I try to be. But yeah, if you've had an MRI with a pacemaker and you're fine, which everyone else has had one, because there's 1 million of them a year in the United States, you'd be fine. Don't worry about getting close to your kid.
Okay.
And again, I'm not a doctor. So
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
thank you. Thanks for asking that, though. Okay, who else?
I have a question about your infusion cream.
Okay.
So I have your Vibe. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
But I see online that you can infuse things. So my question is, can you infuse just this cream or anything else? And how do you do it? And what's the benefit of infusing it rather than using the Vibe?
Okay, so you could probably, here's my guess, okay? You can probably infuse any cream that's water-based or coconut oil-based because it's got to have the water part in there. The only one I know that kind of works is mine because that's the one I tested. So let me grab it. So what she's talking about is this infusion cream. So I don't need to sell this cream. It's like $40. It cost me half that to ship it to you when I put it in the box. So I don't make any money off it, right? But the way you infuse is go like that. And you just put it over where the coils are at. You can see the coils. And you can infuse water. Don't use the metal water container like I have. Use glass. Okay, so you can infuse it into the water and then drink it. So the benefit from that is I can put pain or anti-aging in here and rub it on my face or rub it on my back. So I don't have to have the device there to do it. Again, this is just a guess because it's not been proven with any data. Is I believe probably if it's not a direct PMF, if this isn't against you, it's probably not going to increase ATP. The frequencies are going to be in there, but it probably won't make the ATP happen. But I got people that swear by this, that it works fantastic. Most physicists will argue with you that there's no way in the world water can hold memory. So you're full of crap, blah, 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 on and on. On my website, you can go research it. The guy that proved it over and over and over again that water does hold memory, he won the Nobel Prize for discovering the HIV virus. So the guy has street cred and he's dead now. But so there's that whole controversy. And I actually don't, you probably know, if you follow me at all, you notice I don't push the infusion a lot because I'm already selling voodoo, right? So when I start to get to water and creams and ninth dimension stuff, I'm like, no, just stick with the magnets that have been around for 3,000 years. And now they're better magnets because they're PMF, right? So I wish I had tons of data anecdotally of how that works. I ran a study, just so you know, on dogs. So again, this is for people and pets, right? And that's my sinister plan because I really care about dogs. Okay. But the largest no-kill rescue here about 2 hours south of me is like 850 dogs. And I ran a study where we infused PTSD and anxiety into the water for the dogs. I didn't publish it because it had positive results. But again, I got a bunch of volunteer kids that were helping with the study. And I don't know if they gave them the water when I told them to. We had little gummies that we infused because they were water-based gummies. And so we gave him treats and water. There's definitely a trend of goodness from all that, but as I said before, and I don't mean to be dark. I wish Facebook haters didn't bother me. I mean, I wish I could be like my friends, go just ignore them. They're idiots. I'm like, yeah, but it just personally hurts. It's like I'm trying to make a difference in the world and they're awful. You know what's weird? Okay, somebody needs to do this research. I've only had one female Facebook hater. All the rest are men. Okay. I keep telling them, I go, you do not need to give women another reason that they're better than us. Okay. But they just fight back and it's awful. But anyway, thank you for that question. Did I answer your question? Hopefully.
Yeah, do I have to run the whole protocol, obviously, for it?
Yes. So good question. So all the protocols, so they're going to be on average are about 40 minutes long. The shortest is 30. The longest is PTSD, which is 2.5 hours. Now it's 2 hours and 42 minutes because the person that wrote it found me. I'll tell you that story in a second, but it's the one that wrote it says, hey, these things were taken out and she's wrong, put them back in type thing. But yeah, so I'm sorry, ask your question again. When
I have to I infuse it, I have to run the whole protocol.
Yeah, infusing it or putting it on your body, run the entire protocol. It has to go through all of it. So I get this a lot. It's like, hey, I ran the sleep protocol for 10 minutes. It didn't help. Yeah, it's not gonna. It's 46 minutes long. You got to go through all of it because it's not, people keep thinking it's 12 hertz and I just run, it's not. It's going through those frequency pairs and it's stepping you down. So for sleep, just so everyone knows, don't put it in your pillowcase. It's not the best way to do it. Run it an hour before bed. It'll make a huge difference. It's weird. It's just one story real quick about the lady that wrote the PTSD protocol. She told me, I had a military vet. I don't want to hear anything about PTSD crap. I don't have that, blah, blah, blah. And she treated him and he got way, way better. And he said to her, be honest with me. And she grabbed her hand and said, did you run PTSD on me? And she goes, yeah, I did. He goes, here's what I want you to do. I want you to spend your life making sure that every military person has one of these things. And then he died of cancer. And she told me, she goes, I can't believe I found you because I've not been able to find a device that's affordable, that's small like that. So me and her are partnered now. And yeah, it's an awesome story that there's 44 suicides a day. I keep telling myself if I can stop one of those, I win. I don't care, if I don't make any money off it, that's fine. But it's awful. It's 22 military veterans, 15 first responders, 5 medical workers, 2 active duty. That's not counting normal people that are civilians, which is tons of them. And I targeted, just going on a tangent there with PTSD, I was targeting military guys, but more than 50% of my customers for PTSD and trauma are women, civilian women that have crappy husband, crappy boyfriend, or both. Their kids suck. They had a miscarriage. They got in a car wreck, just life, right? And they seem to be a little more open to trying the no-bo zone, right? To trying something different. So yeah, I think I answered your question. Maybe, I don't know. I'm ricocheting around, making stuff up.
Can I ask one more?
Of course, yes.
What do you say to people when they want to compare it to like the Halo or the Beamer or something like that? What is your?
Okay.
I also use the AO scanner, so I'm into frequencies. I'm a nurse. I'm allopathic. I work in the hospital, so I have a medical background, but I always lean towards this stuff too. So I'm just wondering what you say to people with the more expensive stuff.
So I get a call 6-7 times a day about how's this? I've been doing research and looking at a Beamer, Matt. How's it compare to the Beamer? I go, you ready? I go, what? I go, you ready? Yeah. It's 25 times more affordable. It's 8 times stronger, even though it's smaller. Okay. Nobody believes that's 8 times stronger. It's 152 times smaller. It's 1 piece instead of 7 pieces. It fits in your pocket. It's discreet and it's therapy on the go and you can take it on an airplane. You can't do any of that with a Mac. That's why I designed it. It was like, so that's the answer. And then people go, and they get mad at me. Actually, sometimes they'll go, yeah, but or they already bought the mat, or they're going, yeah, but I've been looking at this for months, the $7,000 mat, and yours is $400. And right? So it's like, just try it. And if it doesn't work, send it back. So. All right, who else? Any other questions? Sorry. Okay, cool.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just curious, does this thing have to be recharged every so often? And I don't mean charging it like daily charging, but like, does it have to be, does it have to be sent back to be recharged, or how long does it last? Or how many protocols can you run? Or just, yeah, I'm just curious about that.
How long it lasts? The answer is, I don't know. But here's what I've done. I've ran it for, what is it, February? So I ran it for 14 months, 24/7, and I haven't broke it yet. So
Okay.
the thing that's going to happen, it's going to be just like your cell phone, is the lithium battery is going to come down to like 50%. So right now, when it's brand new, it's going to last 5+ hours. After 1,000 runs, the battery might last 4 hours, but it should never quit working. Now, complete transparency. Yes, we have a few devices that you guys are doing something to them. I don't know what you're doing with high voltage, something that you can fry them somehow. So I get a few of them back, and then I don't know what people, I thought maybe it was these fast chargers that people were using, but I've tested every one of them. I cannot break one here. And this, some weird stuff, 90% of the time, if it fails and you send it back to me, it's going to work perfect when I get it. I'm like, So yeah, I'm super proud of the return rate. Okay, this is being recorded. Don't publish it, guys. It's less than 5%. It's more like 3% that comes back. The number one reason it comes back is somebody says, I want to eat. I'm like, what? That is the number one reason, is it helped them and they want their money back so they can buy groceries. That's awful, but that's the number one reason I get a return. So it's the only limiting factor is the limiting factor of lithium batteries. Like I just said, the technology is, it's gonna, just like your cell phone, you're gonna go back and forth, back and forth. You should just, the best thing is don't run it all the way to 0. Right, the little battery indicator, when it gets down to 25%, charge it overnight, get a full charge on it, and that's the best, longest life you're gonna get out of it.
Okay,
Did I answer your question or not?
yeah, thank you. That's good to know. And I have one other question. You mentioned about you can change the power
Yes.
up or down, increase the, I guess the higher to lower. Where I have it here with me. Where exactly is that?
It's the plus and minus button right here.
Okay, so if I turn it on.
To run a protocol and hit the plus and minus button, you're going to see the magnetic thing in the top left corner. It's going to go from 10 to 9 to 8 or whatever.
The magnetic thing in the top
Okay.
I don't see it. The magnetic thing in the top left corner.
Turn it on and run run a protocol. Just hit acne or whatever.
Okay. I see. Okay, then okay, I see. Thank you very much. That answered it. I got it.
Now that's a common question. And people go like, why'd you even put a power level on there? The reason I put a power level on is 3% of the world is energy sensitive, I've discovered, and 10's too much for them. They can't handle it. So I tell them to turn it down to 7. 97% of the world run it at 10, leave it at 10, get the most effectiveness. If it makes you freak out, okay, and I'm going to get in trouble for this. If you see halos, if you see colors around people, you're energy sensitive, you're probably 10 is going to freak you out. Run it at 8 or 7 and turn it down.
Okay. Now, once I started one, like I just hit one and it's allergy. If I want to turn that, do I have to let it go all the way through, or can I end it? I mean, I
just hit pause, hit the play pause button.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
hit menu, the M button to the top right.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. That's
You're
it.
welcome.
All right. I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else? Anna.
Hey, Mark.
Hi.
What's
How
up
are
and
you?
coming? Good. How are you? It's finally nice to see you sort of face to face. What's up and coming? I want to know what you got in the works. Are we going to be kept in the loop for like new stuff?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I can't afford the divorce. So I have to prove that this one works, because last year was really the first year of selling them. We were profitable, but we made about a nickel. Not quite a nickel, but enough for maybe a sandwich. Okay. So I have to, because I bought a lot of inventory too, but I have, I said, you can deliver the energy with magnetic fields, electrical current. I'll probably never do the electrical current. Magnetic fields, light, vibration, and sound. I already have sound. I have Resona tones. My dream is light and like this office chair. Earthing mat I have my feet on right now is an earthing grounding mat, is to be able to have a mat where you're sitting at your computer and just get the therapy through the mat. But my dream, Anna, is this. These smart bulbs that are in the roof right now that a lot of us have, right, is to be able to say, the door's shut so she won't activate. Alexa, run Alzheimer's in the living room. And then you're running the frequencies through the light. People don't even know they're getting therapy. It's like I said, the 40 hertz MIT Alzheimer's thing. I would already have that if the engineers at Philips, when you turn a light switch on, they don't want the light to come on. It does a 100 to 200 milliseconds ramp up because it's going to shock your brain and your eyes. I can't get around the ramp. So if anyone on this call knows anyone at Philips, I know how to take $20 billion worth of lights out there and make them therapeutic devices with a phone app. I've already got it built. So that's the end goal of where I want to go, is the other modes. Another one is a watch. So I've already designed a watch. It looks like an Apple Watch that you just wear. And I'm afraid to even say that. I'm sorry I just said it, because now anyone that watches this is not going to buy the Vibe because they're going to wait for the watch. And it's like, don't have the watch yet. I can't afford the divorce. I'm trying. My wife's nickname is Lucy Van Pelt from the Peanuts. Everything should cost a nickel. No, I'm not making this up. And it's like, you need to prove this one's profitable first. And I'm not there yet, because it costs a ton of money, as you know, to do the marketing. And the marketing costs way more. Do you know how much the marketing costs for you guys to be here? Just now, to be on this call, 16 of you are on here, probably $180 each for you to show up for a free webinar. That's the reality of Zuckerberg has my money. So hopefully that answered your question, but that's what I envision happening, is delivering the energy. And it might be wearables. The beautiful, is that a sweater you have on or a jacket?
Oh, it's a warm sweater.
Okay.
I was
Put it inside the sweater, right? Put it inside the sweater. The pets thing that I'm crazy about is dogs, is the bandanas that we've built so the Vibe can fit in a thing like this. It's a little dog bandana, which is super cool. We're starting to sell a lot of those. Horses is another one. So a thing called shoe fly, which is a thing that you put around a horse's leg to keep the flies off because they're stomping and they're hurting their hoofs. We're running testing right now to put the device in a little pocket for horses. So there's all that fun stuff.
That would be cool. I saw, and I think Nija showed it to me, you were putting out there something about using phones to deliver. Is that something you're still?
No, I wasn't using the. Uh-oh. Yes.
It was a
You
Facebook.
were looking for Android phones or something.
Yes. Okay. I know what you asked. So
I told you I'm following you.
She's
Okay,
following you more than I do, Mark.
okay, so here's my logic. So almost every new phone has a Qi coil in it. Okay, it's a coil to charge your phone. So when you lay your phone on a magnetic field to charge your phone without a cable, just like your toothbrush, okay, your electronic toothbrush, you're putting in a little thing. It's just induction. It's a magnetic field. So not everything, more and more phones have that charging coil in it. My logic was, and it's designed, the logic I use is Apollo 13, right? I don't care what it was designed to do. What can it do? So there's a coil in the phone already that is designed to take a magnetic field and charge your battery. If you could run the protocol on the phone, it's an MP3, and have it go through the coil, then you could turn this phone into a medical device with a simple app. So every engineer has told me, you can't do that. It's not designed for that. So I put out a $10,000 prize on Facebook. Anyone that can figure out how to hack a phone so I can run it. Then I can turn every existing phone that has a coil in it into a device. Nobody has come back. Not a single person's contacted me yet, because now, if I could ever get a hold of Android or phone manufacturers and just tell them, here's what I'm trying to do, dude, put something in the firmware hardware to make that happen. That would be my goal there. And I'm glad you asked this, to put this out of business before I even make money, because that'd be a much more profitable, beneficial. I go back to how to make it super affordable. Yeah, make it a $10 app that you use your existing phone, right? So yeah, but nobody has come across yet on how to do that. So I'm still
It blows my mind that that could even be a possibility, I guess.
but it should be, because it's absolutely it's 100% probability that it could happen, because that's how you're charging your battery, is induction. So just send the signal the other way. But I'm sure the hardware is not soldered, designed that way on the printed circuit board. But all these hackers that can get into all kinds of, systems and stuff, somebody ought to be able to figure out how to hack it so it can do that. But there's no sense in me designing my own phone for it, because then I already have.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it.
Right. Okay. Very good questions. Thank you, Anna.
And you're recording this, right? I'm so sorry that I missed the beginning of it. Will you send out the link? Okay, thank you.
Yes. All right, we're past 6 o'clock. Anybody else? I'll take a couple more questions. Anyone's got them?
I got one more question, if that's okay.
All right.
Small animals, guinea pigs, things like that. Like if you have something for like stones, is that too sensitive for them? Or are they too sensitive for the frequency, like rats, guinea pigs, things like that?
They will let you know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If so, any animal, dogs, cats, whatever, guinea pigs, if it's helping them, they're going to lay next to it. If they run away from it, or they howl, or they whine, you run the wrong protocol and they don't like it.
Okay.
Dogs and cats will come up to it. And again, you're running the wrong protocol if they don't like it. You think they have such and such, they don't. Try older cats, if you run the kidney support one that have failing kidneys and stuff, they will lay on top of the thing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I just had a quick question about the young lady who had Tourette's. And I understand it's one case that we're talking about. Did you say that she was cured, or is she continuing to use the program?
I can never say the word cured.
Okay, I understand. Is she still using the program?
No, she doesn't have Tourette's anymore.
Okay.
But to be fair, so everyone goes, BS, whatever. So the answer is there's a spectrum. Once you start using it, do you have to do a maintenance program, or like migraines or Tourette's or whatever? It's like, I don't know. So people are different. Some of them are like, okay, my migraines went away, and in her special case, she hasn't used it anymore that I know of for that. But like migraines, like, okay, I'm going to run it once or twice a week just to prevent the migraines. And if I get one, I'm going to run it to knock the severity down as soon as I feel the trigger coming on. But the answer is, I don't know, because people go, how often do I have to use it? Is it forever? I don't know. Just don't have enough data and experience on it. And it's not an exact science. So it's like, everyone's going to be a little bit different. So there's a huge spectrum too of, this, I didn't feel it. For me, I actually don't feel, I'm not energy sensitive. The biggest impact I have for me personally is sleep, because my whole life I've got people trying to kill me in my dreams, guns, weapons. I'm running all the time trying to fly away from them. I get sleep longer. I know I get more REM. I'm measuring it. And I'm going to have to edit this part. Okay. Instead of people killing me, I get Halle Berry. So my dreams like way more pleasant. And it's like I wake up laughing sometimes. But it's like, yeah. So we don't know all those answers. It's because we just don't have them. It's like, I don't know. And I get this all the time. Is it going to do anything in my amorous crystal and this and that? And I don't even know what it is, what you just asked me. So I don't know. So just try it and see,
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Anybody else?
But when you said something about diabetics, they see response in that one treatment. They can see it that quickly.
I have a bunch of people that see it in the first 30 on the very first response. Yes. And some of them, no, but don't hold me to the number. It's more than half the people will see it in the first session. It's like, really? And they don't believe it. They're like, okay, I must have ate something different or I changed my diet thing. So I'm like, go back to your routine, make sure you don't change anything, don't change your medication, don't do anything, and see if it has that effect. And here's a weird thing, I'm glad you asked, is this lady goes, my sugar went from it's like 260 or something to 120. And she was running the wrong protocol. She was running DIA, which is diabiological syndrome. I made that word up. Diabiological syndrome. Doctors make up stuff, so I did. It's depression, insomnia, anxiety, because you don't ever have one of those. You're depressed, you can't sleep, you got anxiety, right? So it's just all three of those stacked together. She thought DIA stood for diabetes. It didn't. So that's interesting. That's happened in the last 2 weeks. And there's one doctor, I won't mention his name, in this field that says the frequencies don't matter. As long as you get the PMF energy, your body's going to figure out how to fix it. So he may be partially right. And an important point is it could be, I don't believe this, it could be a huge placebo effect. So I had an argument with a diabetes doctor, one of the top guys in the country. I'm like, you can't fake your blood sugar went 200, 100. He goes, the hell you can't. I'm like, what? He goes, I got multiple patients where their blood sugar's at 280, 300, got them on 4 medications. He goes, I'm going to give you this case study. This lady cannot get her blood sugar to move. Her daughter moved out of the house and it went to 100. He goes, it's stress-induced diabetes. That's my new book. I'm writing it right now, that you're getting diabetes just from the stress. So in all of these things, I have to admit, they could all be placebos. I don't believe that. But you know what? When somebody's got a gun in their mouth and they call me and say they don't want to commit suicide anymore, I don't care if it's 100% placebo. I don't. Right. So thanks. We're 17 and we're 10 minutes over and none of you guys have dropped off. Any more questions or you let you guys go? Going.
I wanted to get my $160 worth.
There you go. 165 now. Anyone else? Hey, okay. Thank you so much, you guys, for showing up. I really appreciate it. Yeah, help spread the word, and thank you again for participating. Everyone,
Thanks, Mark.
Everyone have
Thank
a
you
good
for
night.
this.
Thanks, Mark. I hope you
Bye-bye.
do it again.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.